Dear LSU, thank you for Tiger Stadium, the real Death Valley. Thank you for the whole football team staff, from the equipment staff to the people who paint the fields. Thank you to the defense, led by Delpit, Fulton, and Chasen. Thank you for the best receiving corps in the nation, led by Jefferson, Chase, Moss, and Marshall Jr. Thank you to the most underrated running back in the whole nation, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Thank you to the Heisman, Joe Burrow. Thank you for Coach Orgeron, who had led this team to such a high point. And last but not least, thank you to the fans of LSU. All those reasons are the reason this South Carolina fan didn't have to watch Clemson win back-to-back national championships. Thank you guys so much. Oh, I'm so grateful for all of you. Anyone who has anything to do with LSU, thank you, thank you, thank you. I won't be hearing from this. I won't be hearing about Clemson winning any national championship this year. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing that for me. Thank you for winning the national championship instead of Clemson. Now let's get back to the video that's all coming up in just a second. Calling all LSU Tiger fans, do not forget to get your 3D wall art of Tiger Stadium, the real Death Valley, the home of the 2020 champions. Man, this place is beautiful. This is beautiful. You gotta get yours now if you're an LSU fan. You can't miss this opportunity. Also, give a round of applause to the SEC tie for making its 8th appearance in SEC videos. Now, before we get started on looking at the 2020 season, we have to look back at a historic 2019 season for LSU. Let's check this out. First, we're going to start off with their notable wins. They beat Texas, Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Clemson. That's 8 powerhouse programs. Those are 8 dynasty programs in college football. LSU beat all of them this year. And let's look at their losses this season. I can't find one. Yep, because there is none. LSU went undefeated this season. That is amazing for them. Now, we do have to look at players that they will be losing for next season. And these are big names. Before I start talking about their record this year, I just want to say I predict that it won't be as good as next year. No matter who they bring in, I know they have a good class, but you just gotta look at the guys that were on this team, man. Some of those guys are once in a decade talent, once in a century talent. You have big names there, and just the volume that you're losing in these guys. These guys are phenomenal players, and just getting freshmen to come in and do the same thing is expecting too much. These guys, you could sign all the 5 stars in this new class, and they still wouldn't be as good as these guys right here. You got Grant Delpit, Christian Fulton, Hilvon Chasen, Justin Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is the most underrated player in college football, and of course, the Heisman, Joe Burrow. I'm a South Carolina fan, but I would love to have a Joe Burrow LSU jersey. After the draft, I might have to get me one, or if a grateful LSU fan would send me one, oh my gosh, I'd love you forever. That would be, those jerseys are beautiful, especially their purple ones. I don't understand why you guys don't wear those more. The white ones are good, but the purple ones are so nice, but you guys barely wear them. I think you wore them twice this season, and it was against Vanderbilt and another group of 5 team, I think. Now let's look at the players that they gained for this season. They gained 5-star tight end Eric Gilbert, 5-star quarterback Elias Ricks, and 4-star wide receiver Kayshawn Booty. If I said any of those names wrong, I apologize. Now let's get started on the 2020 season. Starting off in Tiger Stadium, they play University of Texas San Antonio, the Roadrunners, and they are going to win that game. The defending national champions are going to come home, play their next game at Tiger Stadium, and it's going to be a good one, and they should beat UTSA by a good amount. Next, the home-and-home series against Texas comes to Death Valley in Baton Rouge. And Texas, it was a really good game this year. I watched that game. That was a phenomenal game. But Texas doesn't have it. Texas does not have the stuff to beat LSU this year and come back, especially in Tiger Stadium. It's not happening. Next, LSU plays Rice. Again, group of 5 team. LSU should beat them by a decent margin. Next, Ole Miss comes into Death Valley, and Ole Miss had a disappointing season this year. Of course, everyone knows what happened in the Mississippi State game, how they got flagged and missed the game-tying extra point. Ole Miss just isn't there as a program yet to beat LSU. So LSU starting off the season 4-0. Next, they play Nicholls State, FCS team. LSU wins this one by a good margin. Next, they go to Gainesville in the Swamp. I have Florida doing really well this year, and they have a lot of guys coming back, a lot of big names coming back, especially Kyle Trask. Having a quarterback who's had experience is huge in college football, and it's going to be hard. Just the guys that LSU are losing who are key guys in that game against Florida. I'm giving Florida the win here. I know it's really tough, but I just think in Gainesville it's going to be a tough atmosphere to play in, and I think Florida will win this one. Next, they go to Arkansas. Arkansas is not a very good football team, especially now. They used to be such a good program, and something just happened. They aren't clicking anymore. Give LSU the win in Arkansas. Next, they play Mississippi State at home. Mississippi State can be a good team. They can put up decent fights against other SEC West teams, but not enough, especially if LSU's playing at home. They won't be enough to overtake the Tigers. Next, they got their bye week, and after that, a big game in Baton Rouge against the Crimson Tide. Last time it was in Alabama, and LSU won. Another phenomenal game to watch. And I don't think Alabama's going to be coming in. We don't know who their quarterback's going to be yet, whether it's going to be Bryce Young or Mac Jones. Mac Jones playing in those big, we saw they lost at Auburn, an Alabama team, and Alabama's losing a bunch of guys too. I'm taking, especially the atmosphere in this game, LSU fans are going to be going insane for this game because they know they finally won last year, but it wasn't at home. They want to win it twice in a row, and those fans are going to be insane. It's just going to be too hard for Alabama to go in there and win that game, so I am giving LSU the win at home versus Alabama. Next, they play my boys, South Carolina, in Baton Rouge. We played you guys in 2015. The game was supposed to be in South Carolina, but it got moved to Baton Rouge because of the hurricane. And you guys beat us pretty good. But we come back to Baton Rouge. I don't think South Carolina doesn't have the experience yet this year. We got a lot of young guys, a lot of young talent, and we're going to build off of that. But this year, especially going to Baton Rouge, I don't think it's going to be too hard for South Carolina to win that game, so I'm giving LSU the win. Next, they go to Auburn, and this is my big upset pick. Auburn, again, was a really young team that proved a lot last season, especially beating Alabama, and they beat an Oregon team. Auburn kept it really close in LSU last year. A really close game. Bo Nix is looking like he's going to be a great quarterback in his career. And especially that game's in Jordan-Hare, I'm giving this win to Auburn. I know it hurts, but I just feel like Auburn's going to have a really good season this year. Next, they play at Texas A&M, rivalry game. And I don't think Texas A&M will have enough to beat LSU this year. So I'm giving LSU the win in the rivalry game. So I have LSU finishing 10-2. Obviously, not what they did this year. They won the national championship. I feel like LSU is still going to be a top 10 program this year. Like, I have no SEC teams going undefeated this season. That's how there's not really a front runner. There's a bunch of teams in the mix. There's Alabama, LSU, Auburn, Georgia, and Florida. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams wins the SEC this year. But yeah, just the guys that they're losing, especially Joe Burrow, like a quarterback that does all that, like all the records he broke and everything, you're not going to get that back, especially not this fast. So I have LSU either making the Peach Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, so they'll either make a New Year's 6 game or one of the really good non-New Year's 6 games, like the Citrus Bowl or the Outback Bowl, which they try to make the best matchups that they can with the teams that aren't in the New Year's 6. Like you saw Alabama and Michigan, that was an absolutely amazing matchup that they made. I thought two dynasty programs, that was probably the best matchmaking that they did the whole out of all the bowl games, that was the best game that they match made. So thank you for watching this video. If you love SEC football, subscribe. I do a lot of that. I also talk about every sport: baseball, football, basketball, hockey, all of those sports. So if you're interested in any of those, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Come back next time.